Okay. Good morning, guys. How are you doing today? Good morning, online. Hi, Divya. Okay. Hope everyone are doing good. Okay, now. So what did we discuss in our last class? VPC. So do you know those steps? Hmm? Should we have a quick shootout? So you keep on telling the steps. I'll review it. And then what we do is we'll implement those same steps in practicals. Okay, what is the first step? Create VPC. So what is the CIDR of the VPC? 192.168.00.16/16. Okay, second, create internet gateway and attach to the VPC. Third, create public subnet. What is the CIDR? 192.168.1.0/24. Very good. Next, fourth, create private subnet. What is the CIDR? 192.168. 2.0/24. Very good. Next step. Create NAT gateway. So NAT gateway should be in which subnet? Public subnet. And what should be assigned? EIP should be assigned. Next. Create public routing table. Okay. And we need to add a route, no? What is the route we need to add? All traffic routed to internet gateway. And which subnet is associated? Public subnet is associated. And then next. Create private routing table and all traffic meaning what? 0.0.0.0/0. All traffic is routed to NAT gateway. And which subnet is associated? Private subnet is associated. Next, create a security group and allow inbound rules. Next, launch one EC2 instance in public subnet. What is that machine called? Bastion server or jump server. And then one more EC2 instance on private subnet. And what is the goal now? To connect to the private server through Bastion server. We'll be architecting this. After this, what we do is, okay. What is NAT? Network address translator. Okay. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of the NAT? Which provides internet access to private subnet. Very good. And what does the NAT will do? It will convert private IP to public IP. Very good. And who is the guy who will be providing internet to a public subnet? Internet gateway. Okay. I don't want to have internet to my private subnet. So what will you do? My question is, huh? Avesham, huh? I'm asking, I don't want internet to the private subnet. What will you do? Instead of removing that, what will you do? Remove the route in the routing table. Which routing table? Private routing table. So now, I don't want internet access, but I still want AWS services. Now, VPC endpoint. Now VPC endpoint. So this VPC endpoint will allow only which access? AWS services access. So these things we'll be doing in the practicals today. Okay. Super. Any questions still here? Anything? Sir, my PC IP address is changing every time once in a while. I always have to keep changing in security while logging into EC2, whereas for your VPC, it was constant throughout the course. That is the magic I did. Harsha. So, so that is topic is little bit different. You know, the question here is, sir, every time my IP is changing in security group, I need to go and change my IP, my IP, my IP every time. For you, that meaning for me, my IP is always same. So he got little bit hurted that, sir, why your IP is not changing? Why my IP is changing? Okay, see, that is depend. So you need to know the one extra topic which is not related to you, which is related to networking, which is called DHCP. What is that? What is DHCP? Dynamic host control protocol. So that meaning who is providing the IP address? DHCP is the guy who is providing the IP address. The brother of DNS. We know DNS, no? Who is the brother of DNS? DHCP. So actually, this DHCP is the guy who will be providing automatically IP address to every machine. And in the DHCP, we have something called lease period. So where the DHCP will assign an IP address to one particular device and it will give the lease period saying that 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or how many days. So now, I mean, this is the desktop which is in the Naresh IT. Naresh IT might be having one DHCP server where they might have given the lease period longer time. Whereas your DHCP server, which is provided by your internet provider or somewhere, so he is not giving the lease period where it is giving less lease period of times. That's why IP is changing and DHCP is assigning every time a new IP address. So that's why this topic is not required for you. This is related to networking. Windows. Have you heard of the MCSC? Microsoft Certified Engineer, that Windows administration guys, they will be doing all these things. This is not for you. But here in AWS, our EC2 instance will get the IP address assigned. No, this will be assigned by AWS. AWS also has a DNS, but not for us. We don't care. AWS automatically assign IP address, but who will be assigning? DHCP only. But we have learned as AWS because I don't want to involve this DHCP here. Nowhere in the AWS you see DHCP. Just in case if you heard a word called DHCP, then what you need to think? DHCP is a server which assign IP addresses automatically to the servers. You can write in book so that you can remember. DHCP. DHCP. Hmm. Write like this, enough. You understood? Who is it? Jaya Harshavardhan. Harsha. What, sir? You have answer for every question, huh? You might be thinking, huh? Done? Okay. So let us go ahead and then log in. Nana, you should tell me and I'll be setting up the VPC. I'll be architecting the VPC. You should tell and I'll create it here. Okay. And I said, those who have missed yesterday's class, for them it is like Greek and Latin today. Yes or no? Online. I'm sharing my screen. Hold on. Okay. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. Now tell me, where should I go? VPC. So creating the VPC. Let's go to VPC. VPC is regional or global? Hey, VPC is VPC regional converted. Okay. So Nana, I told you that AWS, okay, VPC is regional, no? So in which region we are in now? Mumbai region. So in Mumbai also we have the default VPC. No, till now we are using the default VPC itself. And if you go here on the left side, your VPCs, there is a default VPC. Do you see this? And what is the CIDR of the default VPC? 172.31.00.16. That is provided by AWS by default. For this reason, whenever you launch the EC2 instance, EC2 instance private IP will start with 172.31. We can check today if we launch. We will be launching, no? Right? So, but do you delete this default VPC? Don't delete it. Right? If at all, Pusuk, you delete also, you know how to create now. Because we'll be learning today how to create the VPCs. If you know the architecture, you can create it. Architecture meaning what? You should know how many subnets, how many public subnets, how many private subnets you need to know. All public are, all private are. If you know the architecture, you can create the VPC. Okay, now. And also, subnets. How many subnets are there in Mumbai VPC? 3. On the left side, if you click it, do you see this? 3 subnets are there. And each subnet, they have using /20. Remember yesterday we did some math. /20 meaning how many IP address? Do you see that? What is it? What is the formula? 2 power 32 minus n. Do you see that? These many IP addresses are available in the address subnet. So indirectly, how many EC2 instance you can launch? 4,920 EC2 instance you can launch in this subnet. Okay. And then here, what is it? Route tables. Every VPC will have a default route table. Which one? Default route table. So we call it as main route table. What route table? Whenever you create a VPC, automatically one default route table will be created. That is called default route table, which is main route table. And is it recommended to use these defaults route tables? No, we will be creating the routing table. What are the 2 types of routing tables we create? Public routing table, private routing table. Okay. Why I call it as public routing table? Because I'm routing it to internet gateway. That's why we call it as public route table. If you are routing to public, if you are routing to internet gateway, public routing. If you're routing into the NAT, private. So here, and please write down in your book, right, when you create a new VPC, when you create a new VPC, a default route table, main route table will be created automatically. What is our rule here? We will not be using defaults anymore. Okay. Okay, now. Good. Do we have internet gateway for default VPC? Yes or no? Obviously, yes. Do you have internet access? No, for Mumbai default VPC. So you have it. But do you have a NAT gateway? So if you go to NAT gateway, there is no NAT gateway here because default VPC doesn't have any NAT. Okay, anyways. So should we go and create a VPC now? And by the way, when you create a new VPC, automatically a security group will also get created automatically. Which one? Security group will also get created automatically. But should we use that security group? No. So there, here also, please write down when you create a new VPC, a default route table, comma, or else, comma, security group will be created automatically. Or you can write in the next line. If you don't want to hierarchify, write it in new line. Okay, nice. Question. Okay. Okay, now let's tell me, Nana, what to do first. Create VPC. See here, first create VPC. Click on create VPC. So you want to create only VPC or you want to create VPC and more? For now, let's go with the VPC. If you select VPC and more, all your subnets, route tables, everything will get created automatically, which is not good for your health. That means you will get unnecessarily confused. So let's go with only VPC only. What is the name of the VPC? I call it as Mumbai VPC. Okay, now IPv4, we'll go with the IPv4. And what is the CIDR of the VPC? 192.168. 00/16. Are we using IPv4, IPv6? So put it no. Tenancy, we go with the default or dedicated. Tenancy. Go with the default. Don't go for dedicated. If you go for dedicated bill will come for you. So here, do you understand how to create a VPC? See here. So select VPC only, Mumbai VPC, and put the CIDR. CIDR is important, and click on create VPC. VPC got created. What's the next step? Create internet gateway. Where? On the left side, you see internet gateway. Click on create internet gateway. What is the name? Mumbai IGW. Create. After creating, what do you need to do? Why it is in a detached state. Select it, go to actions and then attach. Which VPC? Mumbai VPC. Attach. Next. On the left side, you have subnet, no? Go there and then click on create subnet. Which VPC? Mumbai VPC. What is the name of the subnet? Public subnet. Which availability zone? Each subnet is associated to one availability zone. And here, what is the CIDR of the public subnet? 192.168. 1.0/24. Okay, na? You understand? Online, you're getting it. Whatever you guys are telling, I'm creating it here. Okay. So here you can click on create subnet, or we need to create one more subnet. No, you can click on here also. But what I do, let's go and click on create subnet, and we need to create one more subnet. Create subnet. Which VPC? Mumbai VPC. Subnet name? Private subnet. Which availability zone? 1B. CIDR 192.168. 2.0/24. That's it. Create subnet. Subnets got created. Nana, we use /24, no? Slash 24 meaning how many IP addresses you will get? 250? Do you see it? You're telling just like that, huh? Now, see, that is the power, right? 251 IP address. Okay, subnets got created. Next, NAT gateway. Click on the left side, you have NAT gateway. Click on create NAT. Name Mumbai NAT. Which subnet? Huh? You are saying 1A, that is fine. But what is the logic? Okay. So you got habituated with my words and questions. I'll ask the question and you will answer now. NAT gateway should be in which subnet? Where? If I ask like this, then you will be answering it. Which one we need to select here? Public. Come on. Huh? You should not get habituated like this. Huh? Many people are also saying, sir, after attending your classes, we are not able to sit in any other class. I want like Riya sir. I want how Riya sir is teaching. Same way you need to teach. Huh? Not possible, right? So here, okay, let's go with the public. Remember, NAT gateway should be always in which subnet? Public subnet. For that reason, I have named it as public subnet. Okay. Now, this connectivity type, NAT should be exposed to public. If you select private, NAT cannot reach the internet. So which one you need to select? Public. And I told you there should be one elastic API for NAT. No. Is there any elastic API here? No. What we need to do? I'll get elastic. Ting, it will come automatically here. That's it. Create NAT. Next. Create a public routing table. On the left side, do you see route tables? And do you see, I created Mumbai VPC, no? One default route table got created. But is it good to use the defaults? No. Let's just go and create our own route table. How? Click on create route table. What is the name of the route table? Public RT. RT represent route table. Which VPC? When you are selecting all this in Pusuk, if you select default VPC, your entire architecture is gone. You have to be very careful. Huh? Mumbai VPC. Click on create route table. We need to create one more, no? Which one? Private RT. Mumbai VPC route. How many route tables we created? 2. Public, private. In public routing table, what we need to do? We need to add a route, no? All traffic is routed to internet gateway. So how to add a route? See here, select it. Go to routes. Edit routes. Add route. Which traffic? All traffic meaning 00000. There is a good, like, nice joke on this. Not joke, it happened. When I was working with one of the consultant in Finland, so I was fatafat setting up multiple VPCs like this for a customer. And then he started, hey, Riaz, please add. Oh, he said. I was like, hey, you're singing nice song. I said, no. So that concept is what? It is, it's zero, they call it as there. So meaning 0.0.00. Right. Okay. Select this. And then all traffic is routed to internet gateway. Select this. Which one I need to select here? Internet gateway. Which one? Mumbai gateway. Click on. And then which subnet should be associated for this? For public routing table, which subnet is associated? Do you see here we have subnet associations, edit subnet associations. Which one? Super. If you have multiple subnets, can we select multiple also? Here at the moment, I have only one public subnet I'm selecting. If you have 4, 5 here, all select all whichever you want to be public, select all these things and then associate to this here. Say. Super. You did this for public routing table. Now I did for public. You tell me with private for private now. Select. This is how I'm teaching to you. Then tell me how. Click on routes. Tell me. I'll go. Click on routes. Edit routes. Add route. All traffic. With NAT gateway. Mumbai NAT. Save. Now subnet associations. Edit subnet. Private subnet. Super. Okay. So we have set up, we have architected the VPC now. Now, Nana, it looks simple now for you because yesterday we learned like that. It looks simple or not? But people will scratch the head to set up the VPC because order is important, logic is important. Without logic and order, how many YouTube videos you see also, you cannot do it. Okay. So now, what is the next step? Security group, no? Security group, where it will be? In EC2, no? Let's go to EC2. Let's go to EC2. Here itself, here also we might be having security group somewhere. Here. It's okay. We got habituated there, no? In EC2, let's go and create. Both are same. So on the left side, we have security group. Create. Do you see this one default security group got created for Mumbai VPC? Yes. So let's not use the default security group. Let's go and create security group. Name. Mumbai security group. Okay. Which VPC? Many people will do the mistake here. They will select default and it will not work. Which one here? Mumbai VPC. Now, the Bastion server, private servers, we need to set up. No, now I am asking you, should I show you on the Windows EC2 instance or Linux EC2 instance? You want Linux, huh? Okay. So if it is Linux, then which add rule, which protocol you need to add? SSH. Let's go for SSH and then my IP. And then create outbound tool. Do you need to do anything? No. Create security. Nana, I told you one thing. You need to have all traffic to self as a best practice. Remember this. I give you one example also. If you have your own home, if you want to secure your home, what you do? You go inside and then lock. Will you lock outside and throw the key? So you need to have full access to your home first. So that meaning here, as a best practice, what I need to do, I need to allow all traffic to self. Self here meaning which security group? Mumbai security group. So how? Edit, add, which one? All traffic to self meaning custom only, no? So which one here? Mumbai security group. This is very important to keep to in real time also. There is no harm doing this. Are we allowing anything from outside? No. We are giving permissions to self. Said done. Next. Launch EC2 instance. So on the left side, instance, launch instance. What server is this? Bastion server. Browse. Retire. Which one? You asked Linux, no? So I'm going with the Linux. T2 micro is fine. Key pair. 9 AM batch. Edit. This is a mistake that you do in general. Right? We got habituated with default VPC, no? So you select default VPC and you're trying to, sir, I'm not able to connect. How do you connect? Right? So here, which one you need to select? Mumbai VPC. Carefully select Mumbai VPC. So this is a bastion. In Mumbai, we see how many subnets we have created? 2 subnets, public subnet to private subnet. So which subnet we need to select for bastion? Public subnet. So public IP should be enabled or not? Yes, because that is in public subnet. No, how do you connect to the bastion from internet? With the public IP. So select, enable it, select existing, which one? Defaulter or Mumbai security group? Mumbai security group. That's it. And go and click on launch. And we need to launch one more EC2 instance now. Which one? Private. So go ahead and then launch instance. And then here, call it as some private server. That can be any server, application server, database server, any servers. So browse. Select Red Hat. T2 micro. 9M batch. Edit. VPC. Mumbai VPC. In which subnet? Private subnet. If it is in private subnet, do you need public IP? 100% no. Select existing security group. Which one, Nana? Mumbai security group. And then boom. Launch. Understood? How did you set up? Huh? You can create, but how do you connect from Linux machines to Windows? No. It should be same type. So you can take Windows, but Bastion server can be Windows. From Windows, you can connect to the Linux machine now. Yes or no? How? You can install putty here, or you can open command prompt and do SSH commands. But if it is Linux machine, can you connect to the, you can connect to the Linux only. Can you connect to the Windows? That is gap is there. Mona Lisa is asking, how we access private server from internet through Bastion? That is what that we'll be doing now, right? So what we did now till now, we launched Bastion server and we launch a private server. What is the job now? What is the goal now? First, we need to connect to where? Which server? Bastion server. From the Bastion server, we need to connect to private server. Should we do it? Okay, let's do. So go to instances. We need to connect, we need to select Bastion, copy, open, copy this, appearance. I'll change to bold, a big one, because I cannot see properly. So that auth, browse, 9 a.m. Okay, so I'm now connecting to which server? Bastion. If your entire architecture is perfectly created, then only you can connect to this machine. Otherwise, no. Nana, we created our own VPC with our own CIDR, own public subnet, private subnets, NAT routing tables, security groups, right? Everything we properly, clearly, carefully we created, architected, correct? If everything is architected fine, then only you can connect it. Otherwise, you cannot connect. So can we able to connect this or not? Fingers crossed. Can we connect? Okay, let's see whether he's able to. If it is connected, it's superb. Yes or no? Let's see. Click on open. And there we go. Got connected. So what is the EC2 minus user? So our architecture is it is called well architected. It's called well architected. Okay. Now, from here, what is the first command that we always do? Sudo minus elevate the permissions. Okay. From here, we need to connect to where? Private server. From here, we need to connect to where, Nana? Private server. So in order to connect to the private server, this is Linux machine, no? Can we use putty? No. So here we need to use what command? SSH command. So let's go to private server here and then click on connect. And here, do you see this? SSH command is there. Take this, paste it. Read it. SSH minus I 9am batch.pem EC2 minus user at the rate 192.168.2.239. What is 192.162.39? IP address of private server. Is it the private IP or public IP? Private IP. Yes or no? You're getting it. So now, will this work? Will this work if I enter? So this will not work because it is asking for what here? 9am batch. But here, if I do ls, do I have a PEM file here? Then how does it will take? You are passing the parameter, no? SSH and all these parameters you are passing. And it is requesting 9am batch.pem file here. Do we have the PEM file here? No. So we need to create a PEM file here. So we need to get the PEM file here. The easiest way of getting the PEM file here is you can create the PEM file here. So what is the command? I go with vi, give the same name, 9am, same dot PEM, vi, enter it. Press I. What you need to do? Press I. So that meaning you go to the insert mode. Which one, Anna? Insert mode. If you go to insert mode, so we have our 9am batch PEM file no somewhere. Do you see? 9am batch PEM file is there, no? Edit this file. Do you see the content? Copy all this content carefully. Do not miss anything. And then right click it. Okay. And then need to press escape. What you need to do? Press escape. So that will be in command mode now. So insert mode is there, in the bottom. If I click on, if I press escape, what will happen? That will get removed. See, I press escape and then colon WQ exclamatory you need to go. Right to and force, right save and force quit. Enter. So if I do ls, do I have my PEM file here now? Everyone understood how to create a PEM file? How, Nana? VI, you can write it in your book. That commands. So what is the first command that we did here when we log in? Sudo -s. And then here I copied this. So copy this SSH command. And then here I say this will not work because it is expecting 9am batch.pem. So create PEM file here. vi 9am batch. Enter. Copy the entire content of PEM file here. Press I. Press escape. Too much, Babu. I'm writing all these things for you. Press escape and then colon WQ as limiter. You didn't learn this in Linux? Hmm? Did you guys attended Linux classes? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, na? Nice. So after this, we just created a file. Does it has any read permissions? No, by default, it doesn't have any read permissions. To give the read permissions, what is the command that we should use? chmod. Which one? chmod 400. So here, I'm not going deeper into the Linux topics here. 4 represent read. You might be read, write, executes will be there. No. So 4 represents sheets here and give 9 a.m. What is the next step here? CH mode 400 9 a.m. batch.pem. Okay. And then what I do, now I have the PEM file here. Now I execute the SSH command. So I'm trying to connect to which server now? Private server. Let's see. Right click and then enter. And it's saying yes. Now, where did I connect it now? 192.168, 2.239. 239 is private server. Do you see this? Everyone understood? How did we connect from Bastion to private server now? So where are we now? Previously, we are under 192.168, 1.46, which is Bastion server. Now we are in 192.168, 2.239. So here, 192.168, 2.239. Which one here? Private server. So if you select here private server, the private IP is this 192.168.2.239. So we are where now? We are under private server. So here now you are under EC2 minus user. So what is the first thing that you need to do? Sudo minus s, elevate the permissions. So I'm writing here. So now you are in private server. Sudo minus s. Okay. So is it clear till here, everyone? Online, everyone, offline also. So what we did, we architected the entire VPC. We created a Bastion server and then we created a private server. And through Bastion, we have logged into the private server. Is it possible to log into the private server directly from internet? No, you could try also, you cannot work. It will not work. Nana, online, is this clear? CC, please. Super. Okay, now, very important concept. Where are we now at the moment? Private server, Mumbai private server. Say that. What is that? Mumbai private server. We are in Mumbai private server. Tell me, does this private server has internet access or not now? That this Mumbai private server has internet access or not? Yes or no? So I'll make you answer. This is what server? Private server. Private server is in which subnet? Private subnet. Private subnet is associated with which routing table? Routing table. Private routing table. In private routing table, all traffic is routed to NAT. So that meaning it has internet access or not? Yes or no? Yes. You understand the logics. So we have given the NAT, no? We have given the NAT here. Where, in which routing table is that? Private routing table. See, on the routing table, private routing table, routes. Do you see? All traffic is routing to NAT. So that means, do we have internet access here? Obviously, yes. Well, so that is the reason. No, this is a private subnet. If you need to have a private subnet internet access, you need to route all the traffic to NAT. We already have that NAT entry. So do you have the internet access or not? Yes. How do you test it? Let's say I will install some m install -y. Tell me one small. wget. There is one small package. So if I have internet, this will get installed or not? Let's see. See, it is installing, verified, completed. So does this have internet access? Yes or no? Louder. I clear. What I do, I don't want internet access now. What will you do? Remove the NAT entry. Remove the NAT entry. How? Which routing table? Select the private routing table. Go to routes. Edit routes. Here, which one? Remove. You understand? I click on remove. Save. Now, tell me, do we have internet access here? Yum install -5, let's say HTTPD, some package. Let's see. Do you see in the bottom? It is getting timed out. So that means it has internet access. Now you understood how to switch on and off the internet to your private subnet? Yes or no? Super. So that is how you switch on and switch off your internet. Now what I do? Can you please switch on the internet? How? Tell me, where should I go? Route table, switch out table. Private route table. Routes. Edit routes. Add route. All traffic. NAT gateway. Super. Now I have internet access there. Yes. You understand how to switch on and off internet to the private subnet? So do you also know how to on and off internet to your public subnet? In public subnet also you have internet access, no? That all traffic is routing to where? Internet gateway. And if you want to remove the internet, what you do? Go to which routing table? Public routing table and then remove the route. But if you remove that route, your private subnet internet will work. No, NAT will not have internet access, right? Okay, good. So now we are in the Mumbai private server. We have internet access. And my customer said, Babu, remove internet access in the private subnet. You know how to remove. We have removed the NAT. But he want to access AWS services. You want to access what? AWS services. Let's say, give me one example. Which one we want to access? S3? Should we take S3? Okay. So let's say customer said, I want to create buckets. I want to access buckets, but I don't want internet access. But this how what we will create? VPC endpoints we create. Nana, I mean, there are two ways to access AWS. What are those two ways? Console and then CLI. We are in CLI or console? We are at the moment CLI or console? CLI. So from the CLI, how do I access AWS services S3? What we need to install here? Louder. AWS CLI need to be installed, no? In order to access, you only chose Linux machines here, right? So this is a Linux machine, which is a CLI. So if I want to access S3 from this, what I need to install? AWS CLI I need to install. AWS CLI I need to install. And how do you authenticate through CLI? Using keys. But is it recommended to configure the keys here? So what is the option that you use? Roles. So what I do, I'll integrate all these things now. So from here, I want to access S3 now, but without NAT. So first of all, what I do, here I need to install AWS CLI, no? So do I need to remove the NAT and keep the NAT and install? Keep the NAT and then install. Because if I remove the NAT, can I install AWS CLI? No. So what is the command to install AWS CLI? I also don't remember. Let's go to Google. And then what do you say? Install AWS CLI on Linux. Which one? Linux. x86 ARM. X86. And these three commands are there, no? So let's take one by one command and then run it. Okay. And then paste. Enter. Okay. Zip got downloaded. Next. Unzip. But unzip is there. Unzip is not there. So yum install -y. Install that unzip first. Installed. And then unzip. Unzipped. And then install. Installed. So we have, if you take AWS minus version, so AWS CLI is installed. Okay. Now AWS CLI install. How do we authenticate? Using keys. But is it good to configure the keys here? What do we need to do? Should we create a role? You tell me how to create a role. I'll create. Ah, you tell me no. Search for IAM. Ah, right click, open it. Ah, mm, okay. Create role. Ah, here. Ah, to whom you are attaching? Ah, to whom you are attaching? EC2 only, no? Select EC2. Tomorrow we are ending the class. Now you are in. Okay. So next, here what kind of permissions that you want to give? Because customer want to access S3. If at all you want to access any other service, add the permissions here. S3 full access I'm giving. Next, and I call it as 9 a.m. VPC endpoint role. Create. Role got created. Now what to do? Go and attach. Where should I go? Go to instance. Which server? Ah, ah, security. Modify IAM role. Refresh. Which one? And then good. So now we have permissions. We have NAT or not now? So can I go and create one small S3 bucket from here? I'll try to create. So what is the command? If I remember well, so AWS, which service? No? S3 service. What is the command to create a bucket? MB. Huh? So, and then we need to create a bucket. No, S3 URI we need to put S3 colon slash slash 9 EM VPC endpoint test BKT. In which region you will create AP minus south minus that you will tell nicely. Okay. Now if I enter, it will work. Create bucket, make bucket created. Bucket got created. It got created. Why? Because we have NAT. NAT has full internet access. So if I want to list the bucket now, just S3 and then put LS. My bucket is listing here. It will work nicely because we have the NAT. Now, plug off the NAT. Remove the NAT now. How to remove the NAT? Where should I go? Which routing table? Which routing table? Private routing table. Remove the NAT. Edit route. And then remove. Save. Now internet is off. So now tell me this will work. This command will work. LS command will work. It will not work. If I enter, it will not work. But my sadist customer, what he did is remove NAT, he said. I removed. But I want that S3 to work. What is the concept that we need to use now? VPC endpoints. You understand? Logic by logic. Now, where to go and create endpoints? On the left side, do you see endpoints? Do you see endpoints? Click on it. And then create endpoint. Create endpoint. So what? So, Nana, there are basically three types of endpoints are there. How many types? Interface endpoint, gateway load balancer endpoint, and gateway endpoint. It's a little bit hard. Say that. What is the first one? Interface endpoints, gateway load balancer endpoints, and gateway endpoints. So basically here, I'll come to this point and give the name. What is the endpoint name? I call it as VPC S3 endpoint. I'm creating it. Which service, Nana? S3. Here we need to search which service. I told you VPC endpoints need to be created for each and every service that you are going to access. Here, what is the service that we are accessing? S3. So we need to create a separate endpoint for S3, no? So here, search for what? S3. So here, I told you there are majorly three types of what is this? Endpoints. So gateway endpoint, interface endpoint, and gateway load balancer endpoints. So I would suggest to go with the gateway endpoint. Which one, Nana? So if you go for the gateway endpoints, it's easy for you and you deal with routing tables. You deal with routing table. See now, in which routing table that we are dealing with now? Private routing table only, no? We are dealing with which routing table? Private routing. In private routing table, we are adding the NAT to removing the NAT to. Now, what is the status? We removed the NAT. Do we have internet access? From which subnet? Private subnet. Does from the private subnet, we don't have internet access, but customer need to access S3. That means we need to add a new route, no? And that traffic is routed to this VPC endpoint. From this machine, I'm accessing which service? S3. And this S3 traffic should be routed to NATA VPC endpoint. VPC endpoint. Before all traffic 0000/0, we are routing to the NAT. That meaning 000 meaning all traffic. But now S3 traffic. But now what traffic? How do you know S3 traffic? AWS will take care. Is it 192 traffic, 172 traffic, some other number traffic? Which traffic S3? AWS will take care. So here, whatever the commands that you are typing, which is related to S3, that is S3 traffic. No, this S3 traffic should be routing to NATA or VPC endpoint. VPC endpoint. So here we are creating the VPC endpoint. So Nana, so go with the gateway endpoints, which will be dealing with the routing tables. So it will add a new route to the private route table. So whereas interface endpoint, if you go for it, it will it will work with the ENI. Remember network interface we learned in EC2? NIC card, it will deal with the NIC card. So the easiest way is this, but this is a super in certification question. Please, maybe you can write later. I would recommend to take all these things and put it in your here, but no need to write here. So after this, what we did now? We are in the private server. Sudo minus yes, we did. After that, we play with NAT, correct? Play with NAT. What we did? Add route and remove route. So I'll write clearly for you. So first what we did, install some sample package. It will properly install. Why? Because we have NAT route. Okay. So yum install -y unzip, install some package. It will install. After this, and then remove the NAT entry in private RT. I don't want to write all these things. You have to do it, but don't look into it. You do first yourself. If you have any doubt, come here and look it. So remove the NAT entry in private RT and then install yum install, no? Yum install -y. Which one? Let's say HTTPD. This will work. This will not work as NAT entry is removed. Okay. Next, add the entry, NAT entry again. Okay. And then install AWS CLI. Next, create a role and attach to the EC2 instance. Okay. And then what we did, Right. And then we created a bucket, no? We created a bucket like this, and then we did ls. Okay, we did ls. This will work as we have NAT entry. Now remove the NAT entry and then do this. This will, yeah, this will not work as we don't have NAT. This has to work now with VPC endpoint. Now I'm just writing just like that, no proper format. So you can, so what we do after that, create a VPC endpoint. Which one? S3 endpoint. This is what we did. Okay. And which one we selected here? Gateway endpoint. Which one we selected? Gateway. So I'm telling you again and again, when please read this, because this is a perfect certification question, you will get it here. Okay, I gave this, and then selected S3. Which VPC? Mumbai VPC. Now you tell me, this VPC endpoint should be in which, for which route table? Public or private? Private, no? Yes, select the private. And then click on create endpoint. So Nana, we have removed the NAT entry, no? So now what has happened is, if you go to route table, which route table? Private route table. If you go to routes, do you see this here? One VPC endpoint route is automatically added by AWS. Did we added this? No. While creating the VPC endpoint, we have selected private routing table. No. For that reason, automatically this route is added here. And you know what is this here? PL. PL meaning here prefix list. What is that? I told you, no, here we are using S3 traffic. No. How do you know S3 traffic? We don't know. So for that reason, AWS has created a prefix list. On the left side, we have see prefix list 4011. This. So these are all the traffic. What traffic is this? S3 traffic. Do we know all this network? For that reason, AWS has created automatically one prefix list, right? And then he has added in the route. That meaning whenever we are doing this S3 related any commands, this is the network in the backend it is using. And all this network is routing to VPC endpoints. You got this point? Okay, now we have added the endpoint, no? We created endpoint and we had the route. Will this work now? Will this work? Let's see. Yes. You understand? This will work? Hmm? This will work? No. Answer, reason? Only AWS services will work now because we have VPC endpoint only. We don't have NAT. You understand now? Clear, everyone? Is it clear? Any questions? Will you able to do this practical? Hmm? Online? So what we did here? So we created it, check the route in private RT, right? And then do this. This will work because we have VPC endpoint. But if you do yum install minus y httpd, this will not work because we don't have NAT. We have only VPC endpoint, which allow access only to AWS services. Okay. Is it clear, Nana? Online, any questions? Easy, no? Setting up the VPC now? Online, is this clear? CC, please. Any questions? Anything? Super. So if you go with this, you can easily do your practical. But as we have 10 minutes, I would like to give you extra. You want extra? Yes or no? Online. Okay. So which is not related, no practicals. So I told you, no, there will be small definitions will be there. So please write down. This will helpful in your certification. So which is related to ML, machine learning. ML, machine learning. So here AWS machine learning services. So it's just like a summary. So that just in case if you get any questions, this will be good. So number one, recognition. What is that? Write down in your books. So recognition is related to your face detection. What is that? In your Facebook, also, whenever you upload any photo, automatically when you put cursor in your photo, it will automatically show the person name, no? Did you check that? How does the Facebook knows? That is called face detection. Not only that, if you take video calls or whatever it is, whatever it is, face detections. If you want to do any kind of face detections, or if you want to do any kind of labeling or celebrity recognition, then go with recognition service. There is a service called, what is the service, Nana? Recognition. Next is transcribe. Say that. So this will convert your audio to text, like subtitles, example. Movie, subtitles. How does that your computer know the subtitles, what they're talking? These are all related to machine learning, MLs, right? So which is the service which we'll use here? What is that? Transcribe. And then we have something called poly, reverse, text to audio. In your phone, you get the text. Some auntie will be there inside and she will be reading that your text, no? How does she knows? Google auntie Siri is there or someone is there, right? So using a service called Poly. So text to audio. Translate. You know this very well. What is translate? Language translations. And then we have Lex. What is that? So build conversational tools like chatbots. In some website, you have chatbots, no? Automatically, some AI will come and say, hey, you want to talk? So poor fellow, he will say, hi, how are you? And she'll reply, I'm good. So you think that she's really there? No, it is not. She's really there. Huh? So that is called here Lex. If you want to fool these kind of things, then go. No, if you take it in real time also, if you go to Nareshiti website also, ting, one message will come up. Are you looking for something? So, and if you say yes, please let us know. So it's not the person who is typing in the backend. So there is a service called Lex. If you want to build this kind of tools, then you can use a service called Lex. Next is Connect. We call it as AWS Connect. AWS Connect is like a cloud contact or customer care center. Now you have your company, you want to set up customer care center. AWS has customer center, that forget it. For every service, there will be a customer care, no? If you have a product and if you want customer care center, AWS will set up customer care center for you. Which service you can use for this? Connect, AWS Connect. And then we have something called Comprehend, which is also related to natural language processing. So anything which is natural language processing, and then we have a developer's favorite tool, which is called SageMaker. What is that? SageMaker. So SageMaker is related to a machine learning also, which they'll be using this SageMaker and then do a lot of endpoints connections, checking it. Yes or no? Online. Any developers here? So ML for every developer and data scientist. Just. And then we have forecast. So forecast is related to the build highly accurate forecast based on data. If you go for billing, have you seen billing related things? Billing section in your console. If you go to billing section, there you see forecast. So I think based on the usage, automatically AWS will predict how much price, how much bill that you get for the next month. So based on the data, it will predict and it will give the forecast. Similarly, like your weather forecast also. So based on the data that they have, they will show now itself next few days how much is the weather, what is the weather, how much is the temperature and all. They will predict and it will say. So if you have a data and you want to predict something based on the data, you can use a service called forecast. And next one we have Kendra, not Seva Kendra. ML powered search engine. So these developers need search engines. Sometimes if you go to website, on the top we have a text box to search, no? Have you seen that? You are concentrating on the website only. But on the top, you will have a search engine. So if you go Wikipedia, if you go any website, on the top, you have search engine. So in that website, you can search anything. So that is not easy to develop. So if you want to develop, of course, Google search also there. Google search is a very big search engine, but every website also they'll include these search engines, right? So if you want to develop that search engine, which is powered by machine learning, then go with a service called Kendra. What is it, Nana? Kendra. So this is related to the machine learning. Can you just go through this once? See this for 1 minute. Okay. Face recognition. Which service? Labeling or detections, face detections, everything will come under which service? Recognition. If you want to audio to text, transcribe. You remember as like, transcribe. So translate is different. You are translating languages and all, but this is transcribe. There is same language only, but audio to text. That is called transcribe. And then reverse is poly. Reverse is poly. And translate related to your language translations. Lex meaning what, Nana? Remember chat box. Remember Alexa. Alexa, chatbot. So it is chatting, no? So when you're alone, some people will chat with Alexa. Like in my home also, they will chat. Hey Alexa, how are you? Where are you from? So if you want to chat, and Alexa will chat nicely. It will chat nicely, right? Mm. So if you ask what is the weather, how do you like the weather, and she will reply everything right out. Don't ask anything else there. Next is if you want to do service center, that means customer support center. So which is a service that will support AWS Connect? Which one is a Connect? So any kind of language processing and all comprehend, and anything related to machine learning for every developer they will go with it is SageMaker. And then if you want to forecast based on the data, that is called forecast. And Kendra is related to your search engine. Nana, and then in databases also we have learned so many databases. Can you list down few database services that you know? Hmm? Hey, database services we have learned. No, what are the database services? Database services in AWS. RDS, DynamoDB, Elastic Cache. So all these things we have learned. No, this will come under this databases, but there are few additional databases also there. You no need to go deeper into it, but you should know what is the database. So I'm writing all those things. Please write down. So we call it as here document DB. What's it, Nana? It's a fully managed MongoDB compatible database service. See, we have the NoSQL databases, which is DynamoDB, that is provided by AWS. That is provided by AWS. But there are few, like in market also, we have MongoDB, no, which is very popular database, NoSQL database. But many customers, what they say is, we want to use MongoDB only in AWS. Is there any MongoDB separate databases in AWS? No. So latestly, AWS came up with a database called DocumentDB. Which one? This DocumentDB is compatible with this MongoDB. If you want to use MongoDB in AWS, which database that you choose? Document. MongoDB is equal to DocumentDB. Remember that certification questions you will get. And then you have Amazon Neptune. So this is also a fully managed graph database. Remember, I talked about graph database little bit. Graph. In NoSQL, we have different categories: columnar databases, graph databases, right? So we have graph databases. Let's say links, Nana. You uploaded one photo, someone liked, someone clicked, someone commented. So everything has to be linked, no? So with RDBMS, with normal databases, this will not work. So if you want to use this kind of big development related thing, which database would you go for? Neptune. So Neptune, graph database. If you get graph database, meaning in AWS, which service is that? Neptune. Please remember, Neptune is equal to graph database. Next is Amazon Key Spaces. This is serverless Cassandra compatible database. So there are many fans for Cassandra also. There are many developer fans for Cassandra. So many people use MongoDB, Cassandra. These two are very commonly used databases in the market. So if it is MongoDB, which service is that? If you want to use MongoDB in AWS, DocumentDB. If you want to use graph databases, Neptune. If you want to use Cassandra, key spaces. Cassandra goes for key spaces. And next is Amazon QLDB. So what? So there is a service called QLDB, Nana. What is that? QLDB. So QLDB represent quantum legendary databases, which is also fully managed quantum legendary databases. We no need to worry about all these things, but just in case for your certifications. And finally, the last one here, we have Amazon Time Stream. So it's also serverless time series databases. Okay. So these are all few things that you need to just keep that in mind. So now it is very hard to keep in your mind. When you, before going to certification, just go through these ones, right? Mainly, whenever you see MongoDB document database, whenever you see Cassandra key spaces, whenever you see Graph database, Neptune, whenever you see QLD, quantum legendary databases, QLDB, and whenever you see any kind of time series related time streams. So you need to remember that. And in certification, they will give you one small story. They need to set up a customer care support. So which service is that? Connect, AWS Connect. So if you want to, and they will give one small story saying that someone should be there to translate the language, translate. And if you want to audio to text, transcribe. So text to audio, poly. So like this, you need to keep that in mind. Then you don't even leave any kind of certification also. Why to leave unnecessary those questions, right? Okay, so that was little bit extra that I gave for you. Yeah. Good. So we'll able to do these practicals, everyone? Okay. So good thing here is you set up this entire archive, that's fine. But how to delete, I need to show. Without, if you don't delete, unnecessarily will be charged. So here, how to delete it, please write down. First, you need to terminate the EC2 instances. Write down. Terminate EC2 instances first. Second thing is delete NAT gateway. First, terminate EC2 instances. Terminate EC2 instances. Next, delete NAT gateway. Right? After that, wait for until you get delete. After that, delete the VPC. Mumbai VPC. Be careful. After that, one elastic IP we have assigned, no, that culprit will be there. So you have to release EIP. So these are very important. And you know the task very well. What is the task? Setting up the VPC, Bastion, private VPC endpoint. What is the task here? Task is setting up VPC, Bastion, private server, VPC, endpoints. And I want to do you to do NACL. NACL is also very easy. What is NACL? Remember? Security groups are easy to instance level. Which one are subnet level? NACLs are subnet level. So now you are able to connect to the Linux machines now. SSH. In security group, you have enabled SSH, no? This NACL is another top layer of the security. What I want you to do is, on the left side, you have NACLs, no? Network ACLs. There is also one default NACL. Did we learn this or not? There will be a default NACL. For default NACL, inbound rules and outbound rules are allowed. For default one, it is allowed. When you create a new one, it is denied. When you create new one, it is. But for default, it is allow. So you see here for Mumbai VPC, if you inbound rows, see everything is allow. What I want you to do is, Nana, you launch one security, you launch one EC2 instance. You launch one EC2 instance. In security group, we have enabled SS, no? But come here, edit, add, and then SSH, what you do is deny. Hey, in NSS, we can deny also. Yes or no? We learned all this thing. Deny this and try to connect to Linux machine. Will you able to connect? That test you do it. Okay? Because which one will you hit first? NSCLs or security groups are? NSCL. Okay. Okay. So how to delete it? First, I have deleted the NAT gateway, right? NAT gateway got deleted. Now see here. Now go to Mumbai VPC carefully and then delete the VPC. So you don't need to do anything separately. Gateway, routing tables, and all. Everything will get deleted automatically if you say delete. See, deleted. Everything is deleted automatically. VPC endpoints are also getting deleted. And there is one elastic IP will be there, EIP. So please release that. Otherwise, it will be charged. Now it is clean. It is clean. You want to take this or you want me to put it in classroom? Okay. Okay, Nana. Any questions online? Will you able to, and you take this screenshot, no? Tomorrow, what we do is, tomorrow there is one topic left. What is the topic? VPC peering. What is it, Nana? VPC peering. So very good news is, good thing is, tomorrow also we'll be setting up the VPC. Same thing what you did. So you set up today VPC, no? Tomorrow, how many times we need to set up? Tomorrow, how many times we need to set up? 2 times, because we need to set up VPC peering, no? For VPC peering, how many VPC should be there? 2 VPCs. So we need to set up one VPC in one region, another VPC in another region, same Bastion private servers, same Bastion private servers here. And then from Mumbai private server to another region private server, we need to connect. Is it possible to connect? Generally, 2 VPCs? No. So what we need to set up here? Peering we need to set up. So tomorrow I'll show you what is that VPC peering, which is very commonly used in real time. And apart from that, please remember tomorrow class will be little extended. Tomorrow, as you asked, we'll go with the DevOps. And after DevOps, we'll be winding up the course. Okay, now? So tomorrow, don't miss the class. Offline, especially. Tomorrow is the last day. So come. And then online also, don't miss the class. Okay, there's no previous game. Okay. Can you give the final CC for today, please? CC with smile. Thank you so much, sir, for teaching every concept so detailed, clear, and also addressing Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Saujanya. I couldn't attend the class tomorrow. I have to travel. Okay, Nana. All the best. Divya, I'll put it in classroom, Nana. Good. So don't miss the class tomorrow. Okay. So that is all for today. Let's connect tomorrow with the last topics. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. And those who have not done the feedbacks yet, please go ahead and do it. So I think many people have just simply listening, not acting at all. So please take time and then help others. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.